Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. You're watching Aiong, Taigi. I'm Aiong, and today I've got with me two very special guests. Here we have Hôa, everybody's familiar with, a common appearance on my channel, and then I think everybody also knows who this guy is Jesus.
Hello.
He's got his channel, and it's called Atoga Mkabigira.
Mkabi.
Yeah, Atoga Mkabigi. So thanks for having these two guys on. And today, I guess we wanted to have a chat because like a couple of weeks ago, you guys got into a little bit of a
fight.
Yeah, kind of a flame war.
A fight. I love that. No, now we fight. We need to start to fight. That would be
fight like a man, Jesus.
Yeah, like real views coming for this kind of like.
That's an alternative, you know. We could just set up the cage here and just have a cage match and forget the
forget all the cameras. Forget the talk.
Yeah. So there was a bit of a flame war going on. I'm not sure if everybody has seen it or not. So let's actually cover what happened in this online flame war, and we'll get both of you guys sort of takes on that. Yeah. So why don't you start? Because it was your video that sort of led to the.
Okay.
So now we have viewpoint A from Jesus.
Yeah. So and today is a very special moment because I think it's the first video I will. Not talk in Chinese, and I will struggle talking my English that, as you can see, is not very good looking, but you will understand, more or less. You understand what I'm...
Kind of like my Taiwanese.
No. Like pretty far away from your Taiwanese. But because normally in everyday life, I will not talk. Anyway, I think that this is very interesting. And first, I want to say that I'm super excited because normally when you have a conflict with someone online, everything looks like super weird and you don't know, especially if you don't know that person, and it's like people become very aggressive, like very quick, other people came and you don't have a context, you don't hear the sound of the voice of that person, and it's very... well,
that's what everybody knows, right? Communication is all about facial expression and tone and body gestures and stuff. And online,
it's just words, and words can be aggressive.
But actually, with this conflict or this issue, I think that's happened two very interesting things. First, that I'm here, so I can talk with Hôa, and then also I met another people who was involved in this. That is, I don't know if so famous, but for me, it's very famous actor. That I don't know if you know the guy that also was writing a text about that, and you don't know.
Are you talking about the male character, the actor that has a blue check mark after his Facebook name?
Yes.
I know that guy.
Khah. His name is Khah. And he's amazing because first he's a guy that is one of the characters in the movie that makes me want to come to Taiwan. That is called Yi, and it's a very old movie from Yang De-chang. I love that movie, so I decided to come here. And after this, I was invited by this guy. That is first time that a guy didn't know me invite me to his house in the first time. It was like, what is happening here? Because it's not very common in Taiwanese culture. And the guy invited me and was amazing. The guy is super interesting. I was like, whoa. I don't like the conflict and all these things happen, but I'm getting a lot of things. Yesterday...
Maybe you should have some more.
No.
More flame wars.
No, not too much.
Connection building conflicts.
Yeah, but it's crazy. It's like I was so happy, and the guy was super interesting. Definitely, I want to to get in touch with the guy. So thank you for letting me.
Great to have you here too.
Yeah.
So could you go in a little bit more
detail?
To
the point.
What was the conflict about?
How did it
happen?
Just from your point of view, what happened? So what was in your mind when you first wanted to do in a video, and what came to you after the video?
After the video, perfect. Yeah, but I'm more interested about the point of view. Anyway, what happened is that I invited my old friend, came to the video, and in the beginning I was thinking to make a super easygoing, like zero conflict video. And the the video was like, okay, I want to teach you how in Spain we say hi, like how to say hello, like to give 2 kisses and these things.
Greetings.
Greetings. Yeah, but greetings in a way like when you met someone and you give like 2 kisses, like very Spanish way.
Yeah.
Because I think that it's very different, cultural. Yeah. And how do you say hi in Taiwan? That for me is like just a little bit more cold and say I use the hand or something like that.
Yeah.
So keep the distance, was like that. But my friend, that I know very well, my friend that is very crazy and she likes to to talk, like, and she's very naughty. I know that she would let me say anything and talk too much. I like to say that sometimes she makes the I don't know the how to say that word in English is like it's a gun, but it's an automatic gun that
machine gun?
It's a machine gun.
Yeah.
Okay, the machine gun. She loves to do the machine gun. Like she talk and don't let you say anything.
Okay.
So she was making, but I love that. It's like I like the interaction. So she was making laugh at me and say, "Oh, in Taiwan when we say hi, we say 撒小." And of course, I never use 撒小, and I know what is how to use. And of course,
By the way, for our non-Taiwanese speaking viewers, it basically means F you, okay? So.
Yeah. So, but I think that the original meaning of 撒小 and how to use is like different ways.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, but I mean, it has that kind of flavor to it.
Yeah.
Not exactly the same meaning.
Exactly, but it's like, I think that is pretty close about how to use like fucking, what fucker, what the fucking are you saying?
Yeah.
But not so. Yeah, depends on the context and depends on the clothes. So she was like all trolling at me like all the time.
Okay, so she's trolling you basically. She's saying, how do you say greetings in Taiwanese? And she's telling you to say, F off, something like that.
Yeah. So in one moment, I say, I was like just giving up and like start to trolling at her. So I say, guys, you foreigners, don't actually was like trolling at her because there's no foreigners watching my channel, basically. So guys, in Taiwan we say we don't say hi, hello, or ni hao. We say 撒小. But I was obviously being like super sarcastic with her,
right?
Because she was like trolling at me, so I'm trolling back. But for me, it was just like a kind of like trolling among friends.
Yeah, just joking back and forth.
Yes.
And so what you're saying, by the way, is that your channel doesn't have that many foreign viewers, and you can see that usually on the YouTube statistics, right? Like how many? I'm sure you know how many viewers outside of Taiwan you have. Like mine's mostly in Taiwan too.
Yeah. It's like my channel is like 99%.
In Mandarin.
Yeah. Not only Mandarin, like
in
Taiwan, Taiwanese viewers, and outside Taiwan are all Taiwanese.
Yeah.
Like if you read the comments, there's not many people. And now one really good test is that now I only put the subtitles in Mandarin.
Yeah.
It's not English.
And nobody complains.
And nobody complains. Only people from Spain complain. That is very funny. Anyway. So I was doing that and I put the video. Actually, when I put the video, there's no problem. But later, I get a clip from the video that for me was obviously sarcastic, but many people start to say, you are like, you are insult the Taiwanese culture and the Taiwanese language. So at the beginning, I try to explain, like, no, this is not. And when people start to read, I get really pissed off and I say, come on. It's like when I'm doing that. It's like, it's not, I have many points of it. It's like, it's nothing that I was saying. I was replying and I was mocking up my friend first. Second is like I receive like threats from China like every day, almost like every week for sure, like people like saying very bad things because I officially or like stands for Taiwan. So come on, don't tell me I live my life. It's like I was like super pissed off. I need to say that I was super pissed off with that. But also I think that like I think there's no connection among two things. It's like to respect one language and to use bad words in one language. I think that are two different things. So I was also saying like, come on, when I teach Spanish, I always teach bad words, but I teach it in a proper way. Like was not like say hi, we hear everyone say hi was. So I was also a little bit pissed off because it was out of my, the context. My words is like no, this is not that I'm teaching foreigners how to say hi in Taiwan and teaching people that in Taiwan everyone say but apart of that, I think that is something that I was not doing. And another point of view is like from the other point of view is like this and respect the language or this and respect the culture. By the way, I think that Taiwanese is not represent like Taiwan culture. There are many things. It's a part and it's a big part of Taiwan culture. But I think that there are other languages and Taiwan is a multicultural community. So I like that. And I was saying like, wait. Like, no, these are two different things. But, and also for me, Taiwanese, even if I'm not like Taiwanese speaker, like a daily life speaker, but for me, Taiwanese is also a very important language because in my everyday life, there's some part of my day that is always in Taiwanese. Like, for me, it's also my language. It's not the language I speak fluent, but it's a super important part in my life. I cannot speak Mandarin without speak Taiwanese. It's like in every video, I have a part of the video that is, or some words that I get used for 15 years to use in Taiwanese. So it was like, whoa.
Okay, so let's wrap up, right? So what you're saying, I'm just going to see if I can summarize from your perspective what happened here. You got your friend to come on, make a video. You guys are joking around. She's a little bit crazy, right? And she's telling you how do you greet somebody in Taiwanese. You're going to say she's giving you these profanity, right? Like F you, whatever. This kind of vulgar words. And then you started getting, and you thought it was funny, so you were joking back to her. And you know that your audience is not English speaking, so maybe they'll get the joke, so it's fine. And then you start getting these comments about like, oh, you're not respecting Taiwanese, you're being disrespectful and all this stuff, right? So that's basically
what happened. After that happened many other things, but
so after that happens, that's what I'm going to come to. So after that happened, at some point, Ahua jumped in and you posted on your Facebook,
my fan page,
on your fan page, which has a pretty big following as well. You posted on there as some conversation or something, some chat between Jesus and somebody. And you had some comments about that, and then you had tons of comments on yours as well, and you two got into it. So what happened on your side here?
Okay. So I can just say what. Okay, I think I should start a little bit more from the background. So I want to point out something to Jesus, maybe you have noticed or maybe not, that this Taiwanese that we're talking about, it should be mother tongue to 80% of Taiwanese people. So theoretically, when 80% of the islanders speak this language, this should be the language that you learn first when you have lived in Taiwan for such a long time. But apparently it's not. You have not learned Taiwanese. Instead, you learned Mandarin. So that points out something very clear to us, that we're under some kind of...
There's something wrong.
There's something wrong. 80% of islanders should be native in this language, but this is not the first language you learn by living in this island. So something's wrong here. We're in some kind of
Twilight Zone.
Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and personally, I would just wrap up this something wrong with Taiwan has been a Chinese colony.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Both down to you.
So,
Well, has been and is.
okay. So, from my point of view, what happened is that this day I was going down south with my friend to a go kart.
Oh, go kart.
Go kart field.
Yeah.
So we're doing go kart that day.
Track.
So
Go kart track.
Go kart track. Okay, we're going to the go kart track. So before we started driving to the go kart track, so I checked my Facebook and saw some friends posting or sharing your trailer of Only the Naughty Girl.
Yeah.
Saying Sasha. That's just like a 20-second video.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw the video. Okay. Here we go again. Another ignorant.
What do you mean? Here we go again.
Here we go again. Another young guy that is raised and grown in Taiwan but knows little about Taiwanese and has no sense of this situation of oppression. And has no knowledge of how Taiwanese has been oppressed is fucking up Taiwanese again. So at this point of time, this is not about you. This is about a girl. So before I started driving, I left a message below your trailer saying that, San Xiao means what the fuck in Taiwanese. It's not hello. And I said something about this history of oppression, that this language is now falling apart. This language is dying due to the century, this oppression that has been going on for centuries. So it's been so this language, this might I think I wrote, this beloved mother tongue of mine is now in a very dangerous situation. So if you're making more videos, please be more careful next time. I remember that's what my message was like. Okay. So we started driving and to the go-kart station. We had a really fun afternoon. So at dusk when we were about to drive back home, okay, I checked Facebook again, and I saw your reply to my message saying, okay, relax and learn the word humor, guy, friend, or something like that. Okay, I was not happy about that reply, but that didn't really piss me off. What really pissed me off was I saw your reply to a message left by a mother. Their mother left a really long message below your trailer saying that, oh, I woke up this morning and I heard my son say to me, Sa Xiao. And she was like really surprised and shocked. Hey, boy, how can you say that to me, your own mother? And the boy replied, oh, I saw that Atoga teaching on YouTube that Sa Xiao means hello. So the mother came up and left this message, and and something that I wish you can put the thing straight. I wish you can make some correction to your video so that the kids know that it's not 100% correct information that you're conveying.
But did that kid really not know what it means, and he actually he thought he learned from the video that it means how you greet somebody, or he actually knew what it means and he's just messing with his mom?
No, I didn't think the boy knew the real meaning of the word.
Actually, nobody knows that because we are not there, so we don't know the real situation.
Okay.
Fair enough.
So I saw the message too. The message left by the mother, and your reply to the mother was something like, okay, there are some people lacking the ability of lacking cognitive abilities. There are people lacking sense of humor. There are people who cannot tell jokes from real things, and I am not responsible for these people. So I'm not going to change my video or that's about what your reply is like. And that reply pissed me off.
Yeah.
So before I saw this reply, it was okay. I didn't like this guy. I didn't like this video, but I'm not going to make a fuss about this.
Yeah.
But that your reply to that mother's message was like the gunshot that made me decided to screenshot all this and put on my fan page. Yeah. So I did it.
How come you had such a strong reaction to that post? I mean, the kid, he's watching the video. My guess, right, I don't know, would be that he's just messing around and he thought it was funny. I mean, maybe he really didn't know, and he's like, oh, okay, I guess that's how you say greeting in Taiwan. I don't know. But either way, I mean, that's, like, it's kind of his deal, right? I mean, it's his mom's deal. Maybe she didn't raise him speaking Taiwanese, or he doesn't know. Maybe she should have. Why did it get to you?
Okay, why did that get to you? I've been thinking about this question before as we're preparing all the cameras and things. Okay, I'll try to.
All the cameras. We have 2 cameras.
Yeah, we now have 2 cameras here.
The media.
Okay, I think the first or the most serious thing here is kids are the future of the language, and as we know now, and from my personal experience, what should be the mother tongue of 80% of islanders is now only spoken by like 5% of the kids throughout the whole Taiwan. So we Taiwanese-speaking people here now have a very strong sense of crisis. We are very anxious, or sometimes even angry when it comes to kids. So. Okay, from another point of view, we might say that the mother is actually responsible for teaching your children the right thing, what Taiwanese really is. Yeah, we can say it like that. But here, I think what happened with your video is that people are reminded of this wrong policy that has been enforced by the government for the past few decades, in which they deliberately used Taiwanese as a bad guy's language, as the rude people's language in the public media. Because you're probably aware that, like the time before I was born, 30 or 40 years ago, the government had control over all the media. The newspaper, the radio, everything, including the television. So when they had such control, what the government did with that control is that they made very specific rules that everything that is shown on the television has to be in Mandarin and Mandarin only, despite it was a time that no one actually spoke Mandarin on this island, except only like 8% of people that came before the Second World War from mainland China.
After
the World War. So they control the media and dictated that everyone speak Mandarin on the television. But they made an exception for which goes for these 3 things. Under these 3 circumstances, you can speak Taiwanese on the television. 1, the speaker is stupid. Second, the speaker is uneducated. Third, the speaker is a bad guy.
This is really in the law.
No, it's not.
Or the media.
It's not in the law, but it's like
or the TV regulations.
Yeah, it's official in the TV regulations. They wrote it down.
Like in a gongbun or whatever.
Yep. Maybe not on the such a high level like a law, but it's official.
Yeah, the regulation.
Yeah, they wrote it black and white in the regulations, like given to all the television channels. If you under only when the speaker is stupid or uneducated or bad, can you let this character speak Taiwanese on TV? So with this policy going on for like 2 or 3 decades, many of us, including these people that is born and raised in Taiwanese-speaking families, now believe this is a rude language. This is not the language to speak if you want to be elegant, want to be graceful, want to be beautiful, want to be anything that is good. So the first thing about your video is that it brings back the really painful memories when Taiwanese what's the word? When Taiwanese was
suppressed
and
made fun of,
made a clown. Okay. So, and the second thing is now we have this situation in which Taiwanese is falling apart, and many kids are not exposed to real Taiwanese environment anymore. So they might hear a word or two in their daily life from TV, from the songs, like they learn 1 sentence or 2 in Taiwanese. but they don't really how to speak. They don't really know how to speak that language, and they are not part of the culture.
Yeah.
So they're born and raised here, but they're not part of Taiwanese culture. They're part of the Mandarin culture, learning one Taiwanese word or two, pretty much like what you have been through in Taipei. So with this thing going on, we have a phenomenon among these Mandarin-speaking kids that I personally call the inflation of Taiwanese dirty words. Can I say that?
Inflation? How do you mean? Anyway, go on. How do you?
Okay. Inflation means that your money grows valueless.
Yeah.
So you need more and more money to buy the same thing. So these inflation of Taiwanese dirty words are when you're not really part of the culture. So you lose the sense of how dirty these words really are.
It's actually a very good point. I'm sure that we have probably all had this experience, right? Where like when you're learning a foreign language, you do learn, usually one of the first things you learn is profanity, but it doesn't have any sense of being profane for you.
Yep.
Right. And I think that's definitely what you're referring to, right? Where the kids, they might say these words in profanity. For someone who's really a Taiwanese speaker, that word has a meaning to them.
Yep.
But for someone who's their foreign language, like these Mandarin speaking kids.
Yeah, that reminds me of one thing. When I was back in junior high school, like I was 12 years maybe, 12 years old. And one of my classmates, where I went to, it was a really high-class private school in Taiong. So we could afford to hire some native speakers, like American people, in teaching us English conversation in a classroom. And when I was 12 years old, there was one day a boy like sitting next to me yelled very, very loud to the teacher, "Fuck you."
Yeah, actually, I mean, I think everybody knows I've taught English before, right? This is probably 12 years ago something. I taught for a few years, and at the time I always remember because the kids sometimes they would like start like either cursing or something, and they're laughing. I think it's funny. I'm like, I mean, you might hear that in an American school or English school or something, but not to that extent and not that like freely where they just like don't care. And it's just because it doesn't mean anything to them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just that's the point I'm trying to make. Those kids that we now see in the streets in Taiwan all day long, they are now Mandarin kids. They're not part of the Taiwanese culture anymore. They don't know the language anymore. So they lose the sense of how aggressive, how provoking these words really are. They lose the sense of how dirty these words really are. So they just say like "sa xiao" all the time.
You were gonna say something.
I have many things to do, but
jump in.
I want him to.
This phenomenon here, I personally name it the inflation of Taiwanese dirty words.
Okay.
So, okay. So what I think really happened here with your video is that first, your video brings back the bad memory of Taiwanese being suppressed and made fun of on TV centuries ago. That is still has
decades, not centuries.
Decades ago. Sorry. And that thing is actually still going on and reproduced.
Yeah. It's still going on. Yeah.
It is still going on by sadly those kids that should be speaking Taiwanese but no anymore.
Maybe you mean propagated.
Propagated. It's still propagating. And the second thing is the so the second thing is actually about a naughty girl, not about you so much.
The naughty girl?
The naughty girl.
Yeah.
Naughty girl has maybe a slightly different meaning.
Probably it's also accurate.
Okay, people, you're not watching Pornhub here.
Yeah.
No naughty girls in this video, sorry.
The naughty girl. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not sure if that's any better. It's okay.
She's one of the kids that maybe should grow up speaking Taiwanese but didn't. So she lost sense of how dirty this thing really are. I mean, such video or such jokes happens with every language. So like you can pretty much get an English speaker trying to teach somebody who doesn't really know English that, oh, hey, let me tell you, when you want to greet somebody in English, you say "fuck you." Yeah. It can very well happen with an English-speaking video.
Well, what's funny about this, right? Because I thought about this when I first saw this interaction happen. It was like, well, like when I was in high school or college or something, I did have a group of friends, and we would greet each other with like, "Hey, fuck you, what's going on?" So like it was kind of a normal thing that we would do that sometimes. And I thought like, okay, I mean, yeah, we knew it's a joke, and I wonder if this was if Taiwanese didn't have this particular background that you just explained, would you care about this topic? I mean, probably not, I
Okay.
would guess.
If there are still 80% of the elementary kids throughout the whole island that is native in Taiwanese and speaking Taiwanese every day, well, I would watch your video and say screw it, and then it's over.
Yeah.
So your video became so sensitive and maybe provoking is very much due to the dangerous condition that Taiwanese is going through.
Okay. Can I reply?
Yeah, jump in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree, and later I'm going to tell you the secret purpose of my today's video, because it's a secret purpose that you two doesn't know.
Oh, we don't know yet.
Okay.
You don't know why I came here. The real reason. Later I will explain, but
We really
but-
don't. I have no idea what he's talking about.
Okay, for me, I understand all these things. I'm here for 15 years. I study about the history. I think that I'm not a history expert, but I probably know more about Taiwanese history than most part of Taiwanese, because I was working translating news. So for the first year, 2 years, I need to study history like every day, because I need to understand what is happening, and only not history, only also politics.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I think probably the main reason is because they don't learn Taiwanese history here. They learn Chinese history.
Yeah, that is something very interesting. But later we'll go there. So I'm my background. By the way, is about my major is in fine arts, but my master is about linguistics, and also about teaching linguistics. So I know a little bit about these things and have my opinion about that. And also I was being a Spanish teacher for like, I don't know, 13 years or something like that. So I have also opinions about that. But first of all, was not a teaching. I'm aware about that, but was not a teaching.
It was entertainment. It was comedy. It's not.
It was entertainment, and if it's something about teaching, is about how we say we kiss 2 times in Spanish. That is the main point. So the xhau was not something that I was saying, and was not the point at all about the video. And first of all, second, I think that many people maybe feel. I understand that people sometimes feel very bad about bad language and like bad words, and feel bad about that. But I think that bad words are really important. I teach that and I study that, by the way, and are important for the language.
That's very true, actually.
Yeah. Has a point, and it's not like just when I learn. I know most part of people when are learning a second language, they want to learn that bad words and always use in a bad way in sometimes. I know very well what the original meaning and how to use xhau. That is not something that I use a lot sometimes, but not in that context, of course. There's one point that I think that I'm not particularly agree about the culture, because it's a feeling, but I understand that feeling, but I think that that Taiwanese culture are many things. It's not only one thing. It's not only one language. It's like, of course, most part of people in Taiwan, their mother tongue should be probably, I don't know, but should be Taiwanese. It's okay. We can talk about that later when I tell the secret purpose of this trip.
Okay.
Later. But I think that Mandarin, that by the way doesn't belong to China, Mandarin is a language, and Taiwanese is a language. That by the way is not only speaken by the Taiwanese, that in Malaysia they also speak is different, but they also speak what they call Hokkien. But in China, I have a very interesting story that I was in China, and I was in Guangzhou, and I was in a bar, and there's a group of guys, and they start to talk with me and my friend, and they was talking, we was chatting, and, oh, what are you doing here, blah blah blah, and there one guy that was looking at us like really like bad face. It's like he was like angry about us because we are foreigners, and he was like, what happened with that? So I decided to go to speak with him, and I start with the basic conversation. Are you here from for Guangzhou? And the guy said, no, I'm from Fujian. I'm from the south of Fujian. And I say, what? Really? So I start to use my poor Taiwanese with him, and the guy was freaked out. Suddenly, the guys, his friends, are not anymore his friends. The guy was like treating me as a brother. Was like, wow, it's interesting, like how
Kind
the
of
language
broke the barrier.
Yeah, and the guy was like super happy because he cannot speak his mother tongue for a long time, and suddenly he can speak with me, and was like, whoa, was amazing. Anyway, I think that in Taiwan, Taiwanese culture are many things, not only like Taiwanese for me. Mm-hmm. And I think that in some way, maybe you think that this is stupid, but I really feel like that. I'm also part of this culture, and I'm not part of Chinese culture. And because Chinese culture is not a language. Of course, there's a part that is Chinese culture, but my everyday life is in Taiwan. Maybe you can say, oh no, I'm Taipa culture. But I think that Taipa, and that is also a stereotype in Taiwan, is not so different from other parts of Taiwan. Of course, it's different. There are specific things about Taipa. There are specific things about Hsinchu, but I think that is most part of the life that I have in Taipa is exactly the same in other part of. For example, last time.
Just with more sidewalks.
Yeah, and it's like every time I go around the island, many people say, "Oh yeah, because in Taipa you don't nobody speak in Taiwanese because it's super difficult because people is very arrogant." First of all, most part of people who is living in Taipa are not from there.
Yeah.
So no, I'm sorry. Like around my building, like. Most part of people speak in Taiwanese like every day, so is also anyway. So I think that the culture is not only the language, and I respect a lot the language, and I really believe that we should keep the language because language is a treasure of every culture. Yeah. And I love the Taiwanese, even if I don't speak. Even if I don't speak Mandarin, I don't speak Taiwanese, I only speak Spanish. That, by the way, I have a friend who is like that. And this guy is having here a life that I think that is very meaningful, and he's part also of the society and the culture. And the guy has a restaurant, the guy loves motorbikes, the guy has friends all around the island, and they make the road bikes, and he didn't speak Taiwanese or Mandarin. Of course, he speaks a little bit. Yeah. And of course, I agree that if you are learning in a place, you are living in a place, to learn the language is a way to respect that culture and that place. But I think that is not the only way. Mm. There are many other ways also to respect the place and the language and the culture. I think that the culture, there are many things. There's something that I feel also a little bit upset when I saw all the comments of people. But there's something that also in this conflict I really don't like. That later when you was pissed off and write a comment in your Facebook page, And I reply, and I was really pissed off because you say, you are Caucasian, blah, 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 blah. And I was like thinking about the racist part and these things. But down below, I feel that there are a lot of comments also saying bad things about you, and was like, no. I decided to stop there.
About me?
Yeah. In your fan page and below my comment. There, like,
Below your comment on my fan page?
my comment in your fan page, yeah.
Did you make a comment on my fan page?
I love it. Yeah. Anyway,
This is the Facebook algorithm not showing you what you should be seeing, right?
I love it. Yeah. Anyway, there is nothing important, but
What did you say? What were the replies?
like
bad-mouthing
I was like
Hua.
pissed off because he wrote that because talking about Caucasian and about because Caucasian came here and they say that and this, and if I say in Spanish you also use
Yeah.
like some Spanish word like say some Spanish bad word to say how do you feel about that, something like that. So I replied the comment and I was also pissed off, but later there are many people who reply and was like no.
So you decided to delete your comment.
No.
No, he said he just stopped. He said he stopped there.
So
He
why
stopped
did I
replying.
not see it?
I know.
Like,
By the way, I
Facebook-
just noticed
know.
something interesting because earlier when you were speaking in Taiwanese or English, it was no problem to say "san xiao," to say "fuck you." But when you just mentioned about Spanish, then you just said bad words and you didn't say it in Spanish.
In Spanish,
Yeah.
I say a lot of
No, but I mean you didn't say it just in that when you were talking about there. I think my point is just that it seems like there was you had a different feeling about saying it in Spanish versus like you were more willing to say it in English and Taiwanese. It wasn't as big of a deal.
Really?
I don't know. I
No.
mean, because you just mentioned that
Oh.
because you said on your post, right? You said, "How would you feel if I said this in Spanish?" Right? And you mentioned that, but you didn't say it. But earlier when we were talking, you said about English and Taiwanese. You just said it, no problem.
Yeah,
know,
but,
it-
no, but in Spanish I use a lot of normally.
Anyway, not a
Normally,
big deal.
because I don't speak in English, so I don't say bad words in English. In my everyday life, I use like bad words only in Spanish and Taiwanese. Like mostly in Spanish, more than Taiwanese, by the way. Because in Taiwanese I use it, but more for emphasize that for get pissed off. Because if I'm under big stress and I'm in the street and I get pissed off for something, I used to say in Spanish because I can release the stress, but now they understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, and because sometimes it's much powerful in Spanish that in Taiwanese or in Chinese or in
For
English.
you, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway, but
Anyway.
go on. Yeah.
So I was like after to see a lot of comments of other people like criticize you in the and sometimes like have personal attacks. I say no, stop. I don't want to comment again, and I'm going to make a video. I'm going to clarify all these things, and I make another 2 videos. One like really pissed off, another one like saying, hey, this is very good. That is the one that I was mentioning, that we are going to do this video on this stuff. But at the same time, I suddenly realized about something that is the secret of today. Is okay, I maybe not agree with the culture is only Taiwanese language, for example. Like I maybe consider that Taiwanese culture is multicultural and people who speak 2 languages and is fine, 3, or people who mix all the languages. That, by the way, is something that I love in Taiwan because I was grown in a place that only there Spanish. There's no English. My English is like very, very late.
It's
Starts
fine.
with- yeah.
It's fine. Yeah.
Thank you. No, so I don't care. But I love that from Taiwan, that there are many people who speak different languages. And anyway, even if I think that I'm part of the culture and I am part of the society, and I will stand that for forever because I really believe that, and I love to use different mix, and I don't think that I don't feel bad because I mix Taiwanese with Chinese, with Spanish, with anything, even if we are maybe disagree on that, but I think that okay, this is a part of Taiwanese society that people feeling bad because the Taiwanese language is not like taken in consideration, or because I'm completely agree that many people will think that Taiwanese language is related to like low class. We can say that in general, and I'm completely against that because a language is not related. Never any language is related to a person, a class of person, and I am completely disagree about that. It's like Taiwanese language for me, because most part of my Taiwanese.
Yeah, that's pretty much what Guan said when you nominated him, and he made a video replying to this Taiwanese being a vulgar language thing, and he said, well, basically he said something like, okay, I am the low class guy. Taiwan is not the low class class language. It's about me, not about the language. And I thought that's a really those were really words of wisdom.
Yeah, and I love that that thing. And also I love it because I love to see. But by the way, Aquan, you didn't see my video. He didn't really saw the video because he was it's pretty clear. Yeah. But I still love it. And I still love that Aquan tried to explain me how the proper use of chhau that I know perfectly, but I was like super. I still love it. Yeah, I love that because that also revealed that he doesn't really saw the video. So anyway, but I think okay, apart of that, apart of the polemic, all these things, but it's true that first Taiwanese is not like a low class languages, and to say that I think is stupid, by the way, and is very unrespectful also, and I completely disagree about that. By the way, my Taiwanese comes from the Akong Ama that train with me in the gym like every morning, like for years. So I will go to this kind of like public sport center that's super cheap, and mornings are all Akong Ama, and they teach me Taiwanese. All the things, 90% of the things I know came from them. So of course and they like treat me as their child. So of course they are no low class for me, are Akong Ama, and they are great Akong Ama, by the way. Like if someone say anything against my Akong Ama, have a problem with me. So of course I don't think that, and I think that okay, maybe this video and this trip is also a way to point this. Is like, because I think that for YouTubers and for people who is on the media, like to remind that is always good. It's like, okay, we can make a point about that, and hey, if there are a bunch of people, group of people who is pissed off about this, maybe there's a sensitive topic about this, and that also is related. So I want to make this video for that.
This is a little bit like that. We say like sometimes the best way to get correct information is to post incorrect information online.
Yeah.
Like if you post the wrong thing, then you're gonna get everybody replying, like, "No, you're wrong."
Yeah, but by the way, I want to say that was not information, was not a teaching thing. Right. Anyway, but I think that is interesting because it's also a way to point at this problem, and also I think in Taiwan there are many debates that are still open and should be discussed. Like for example, that what we should do with our country. That is a very important thing, and one part of this topic is what we should do about Taiwanese language. And that is something that many people in Taiwan should care about and discuss.
Yeah.
And it's something that I used to say in my videos, that Taiwan should like to decide their own future. And one part of the future is like the language that we are going to use. For example, about politics, about how to use the language in the schools. That, by the way, if I need to vote, I will keep Mandarin and Taiwanese. I will not discard the Mandarin, because I don't think that Mandarin belongs to China. And that is pretty clear. For example, if you go to Indonesia, there are Mandarin speakers in Indonesia. And please don't say to an Indonesian that they are Chinese, because they will not get happy with that. Or in Malaysia, in Singapore,
all around the
or
world.
in Spain. If I go to Spain, for me, Mandarin is also my language. And when people say, no, you don't know because you are not a native speaker, I used to reply, 傻小 or 公傻小. No, I will not say that. I will, because they are Mandarin speakers. No, I will get really pissed off every time that people say. I give you an example. There once that I was in Spain, I was studying my master, and there a Shanghainese girl studied with us. And first day, I know her by internet, we talk a lot, and the first day, first words that I crossed with her was 早安, and she replies, no, I'm sorry, you are wrong because you are foreigner. So we say 早上好. I was super pissed off, so pissed off that from that day I only say 搞炸. Only. I was like, no, I'm sorry. No, it's not that the language is yours and it's not mine. It's like it's also my language. And in Taiwan we say 早安, and I'm sorry if you don't want to say 早安, I start to say 搞炸. So from that day, every day I say 搞炸. And she starts to, but the funny thing is that she starts to say 搞炸with me. So
where did that conversation happen?
In Madrid, in Spain.
True.
Yeah. So she was saying like, oh, look in this face. Oh, so you are Spanish. So you are a Spanish speaker. So if we are talking about Mandarin, I know always more about Mandarin than you. That of course, her Mandarin is better than mine, but that doesn't mean that her Mandarin is like
the correct version.
Not only the correct. I don't think that there's a correct, but I don't think that her Mandarin is always better than mine in every situation. That means that, of course, I know many things that she doesn't know, and of course she knows something that I don't know. That remember also another conversation here in Taiwan that with a friend who she's like very fluent Taiwanese speaker, and she was saying something like, yeah, because of course my Thai is always better than yours, blah blah blah, and I know, but that doesn't mean that she knows everything, and probably I know something that she doesn't know. And then I was I teach her something, or I say something in Taiwanese that I don't remember what was like. I need to check one video for remember that, because that's something that I learned with Tâi-gí, and he teach me that, and I use with her, and when I was
she didn't know it.
She didn't know it. Say no, is that your pronunciation is not correct because you are foreigner. And then we are in a night market, and I tell to other people, and they say, yeah, of course. And she was like super pissed off with me because it's not even.
It happens sometimes.
Yeah, if I'm not fluent, I think that I feel also that the Taiwanese is a small part, but it's also a small part of my own history, and I feel also sensitive with people saying, this.
So I want to pitch over to Awa for a minute because so you've been talking about how you like the Taiwanese language is kind of a part of Taiwanese culture, right? But there's also Mandarin, there's also other things. Because I have a quite a bit of a different take on that, but I want to ask what your take on that is. Like, do you?
My take on how other languages make a portion of the Taiwanese.
Well, I mean, is
culture?
there what is the relationship between Taiwanese culture, Taiwanese language? Like, what are these? Because the word Taiwan is a little bit confusing.
Fuzzy here?
Fuzzy, yeah.
Okay. Where should I start? Okay.
Or if you had anything specifically that you wanted to say to reply to Jesus, that's fine too. This is what I was wondering about personally.
Okay. Okay. You know there are indigenous languages here in Taiwan, like not part of Hakka, not part of Taiwanese, not anything that can be written with square writings.
Of course. I've been here 15 years.
Okay.
I am
So the largest group of those indigenous people are called Amis or Bangza.
Yeah.
Okay. And let me tell you something. There is one word in Amis that goes Taiwan. It is spelled as Taywan. Taiwan. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I want you to make a guess. What does this word mean in Amis? The largest indigenous language group.
I don't know. It's difficult to.
It sounds like Taiwan, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this word means Taiwanese speaking people
Okay.
in Amis.
Yeah.
So one historical fact here is this Taiwan, whether it's referring to the language or a group of people, it used to mean only these people speaking my language, not including Hakka people, not including Mandarin speaking people, not including the indigenous people. No, Taiwan used to mean only people who spoke this language. So what happened after that, maybe for like the past 100 years, is the broadening of this term Taiwanang. It broadened to everyone living in this on this island. So when we're talking about Taiwanese culture here, we want to be clear. Which meaning of the Taiwanese culture are we talking about? Are you talking about everything that happens within this island, or are we using the old meaning of this Taiwanese Taiwan? The old meaning of the Taiwan would mean only people, would mean only.
And I feel like there's a kind of difference depending on whether you're speaking English or Mandarin or Taiwanese.
Yeah.
Like for me, I feel like when Taiwanese speakers are speaking Taiwan way, they usually only mean the people speaking Taiwan way when they say Taiwan. That's what I feel like. I don't know if that's correct or not, but it seems to be that's what people like Lan Taiwanang, whatever.
Yeah.
They're talking about Taiwanese speakers. And that's why you get this expressions like, oh, di Taiwanang bei gong Taigi. It's like kind of a de facto, yes, if you're Taiwanese, you should be speaking Taiwanese because that's the definition of it. So it's not like some people think, oh, I don't like that expression because Taiwan also has Hakka, it also has Mandarin, also has whatever. But it's like from that Taiwanese speaker's perspective, those people are not Taiwanang.
Yep. Also, you remember last week when we were doing the videos with the Gongyong Densi people? So their producer, I think is a woman in her 60s. He used Taiwanang to refer to only Taiwanese people, Taiwanese speaking people.
Taiwanese speaking people.
He said something like Taiwanang ga Kerang and so on. Taiwanang and Hakka people.
Yeah, that's why I've actually noticed this in speaking Taiwanese that people, when I speak Mandarin, I can't remember a time speaking Mandarin where someone's first reaction to me was, "Oh, 你是台湾人." I can't remember that kind of reaction, but that reaction happens quite a bit when I speak Taiwanese. Like I speak Taiwanese to somebody and they say, "Oh, 你台湾人." So they just, because I'm speaking Taiwanese, they just say, "Oh, you're a Taiwanese." Like that's what it means to be Taiwanese.
Okay, so I have a question.
Yeah.
If because pretty much what you are saying is that the only real Taiwanese or the only Taiwanese or the only people who should be called Taiwanese are the people who speak Taiwanese in their daily base or their only language.
Well, so this, I think what you're.
I didn't
I'm
make
gonna,
the question.
I know you didn't, but I want to jump ahead to
Okay.
see if I know where you're going.
Yeah.
Which is, like, what should we call? Is this right? Because what should we call? Because we have this island here. We have Hakka. We have Mandarin. We have all these other indigenous
Spanish
languages. We have Spanish. Whatever. What should we call that if not Taiwan? Is this where you're going with this kind of? Okay, sorry. You should ask your question first.
more or less.
Yeah.
No, I mean that if we say that that only the people who speak Taiwanese as a mother language should call Taiwanese. So are you saying that I'm not part of this island, or my Aboriginal friends are not part of this culture?
Right.
I don't think so, and I don't like the idea.
Yeah.
It's like if someone told me, by the way, I consider myself like a Spanish guy and also a Taiwanese guy.
Yeah.
And when people say that I'm not, I don't feel.
So I got something for you. I got something for you.
You go
Now,
first.
I want you to ask me in Mandarin, are you a Taiwanese guy? Ask me.
你是台湾人吗？
我不是，我是台湾人。
Okay.
So,
Oh, yeah.
do you get what I'm saying here?
Why you
I'm saying I'm not Taiwan人.
No, I understand.
我是台湾人。
Okay.
忘记我是台湾人。
I have a little bit of a different answer to you, okay? And because I think it's it's a very important question, right? And obviously, I think the vast majority of people that live on, using a very specific word here, this island, or let's say these islands, want to be inclusive of the cultures that exist here and so on, right? And so it doesn't feel right, it doesn't sit right with us if we say Taiwanese means this language, this group of people, it doesn't include the other ones. It doesn't feel right. The reason it doesn't feel right, as far as I understand, from my perspective, is that for most people nowadays, they have equated these islands with the word Taiwan. But that is not a historical fact in the language of Taiwanese as how it's spoken. That's not how it used to be referred to in that language. And maybe loosely, in a loose sense, yes, maybe in a loose sense you would say Taiwan, you refer to the island. But do you know where the word Taiwan comes from? It's not from the island. It's from Tailan. It's from Anpiang, right? It's from the Zheranjia, where the Dutch people came. That area was called Taiwan. There they spoke Taiwan Wei. That group of people became known as Taiwan Lang, right? And that later was adopted by the Qing, by the Japanese, by the ROC to refer to the name of the island. But within the group of Taiwanese speakers, it wasn't that way. It didn't used to be that way. So for me personally, I think there's a little bit of a conflict there. It's hard to know which thing is, the best option. But I personally, I mean, and this is probably my English bias here, but I personally am quite partial to saying that it's Formosa, right? I would say we're part of Formosan culture. Hakka people are part of Formosan culture. Taiwanese people are part of Formosan culture. Mandarin-speaking people are part of Formosan culture.
Okay. From my perspective, I have another question that will be replying that maybe is interesting. But first of all, I think that is just a linguistic debate.
Yeah.
But we say this island. This island, for sure, we share a common culture. We drink all the same tea, the same coffee. We share the same food, amazing food, by the way, like culture. We share the same YouTube channels, or maybe not the same, but more or less, we have many things in common.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I, in my videos also, I also think that if we want to develop as a society, we should to focus on what we have in common and define what we have in common and not about the difference.
Absolutely, I agree. But I want to ask you something. I want to jump in and ask you something, because if there is this group of people on this island, that's the majority, that have called themselves Taiwanlang and refer to their own
centuries.
for 400 years, and then that name is reappropriated to refer to the entire island, including indigenous, including Hakka, including Mandarin speakers, including Chinese, whatever. Now everybody's Taiwanlang. That also has something that feels wrong about it, right?
Okay, why feel so wrong? Okay, why we should call, what I should call myself? Okay, I accept. I'm one si Taiwanlan. Nah,
Okay.
我是什么?
Sorry,
I would give you something. You are Taiwan 人. You are not Taiwanlang.
Okay, I use another language to say.
And
So-
that's what I would say the pretty much the similar thing for myself. I'm not Taiwan 人. I am Taiwanlang.
well,
But okay, I
don't know if
a
I-
question. Wait.
I don't know
This
if
is
I
what-
quite understand that.
It's
but
just with this. Okay, so now I ask you in another language. Are you Taiwanese?
I am Chinese.
And why not Taiwan? Or it is Taiwanese, if I say it's the same but in Spanish? What in some language is okay and in another no?
Because it's not the same thing.
No, it's not the same feeling, but it's the same thing because are
No, it's
different.
not the same thing.
So okay, hold on. This is the point, right? What I want to understand here is what is different about when you say, because I think for most of our viewers, me included, I don't really understand what you're trying to point out here, the difference between Taiwanren and Taiwanlang. I mean, I get that there's something to do with Mandarin versus speaking Taiwanese in there, but I'm not exactly sure what it is. Can you put your finger on it?
Okay, let me try to. Okay, how do you say Spanish in Spanish?
Español.
Español. Okay, Español. Okay. Hey? Español. No, I'm trying to point out this feeling because both you guys are from a very strong country, like superpowers in the world. So I would say that you guys don't have no idea what it means to be colonized. So, I remember from the history book that Spain was colonized by Arabic people like hundreds of years ago. So, how do you feel about that?
Okay, about that, I think that I understand your point that here we are colonized, we are always oppressed, but from one point of view, in your daily life, you feel oppressed, or how real oppressed you have, and how, because I came from Spain, I was born in Madrid, so how much of colonizer I have in my DNA. Is the culture in DNA? I don't think so. I'm not. No, it's not. So I'm not a strong opinion because I came from a strong country in the past. That, by the way, Spain now is not a strong country.
Not what it used to be.
Yeah.
It used to be strong, okay?
Yeah, but what my point is that, okay, I get your point. I get the feeling of get oppressed. I'm against that. By the way, something that I was pissed off in this thing is that like many people try to teach me about how the Kuomintang oppressed Taiwanese people after the war in China, and was like, or through the language. But what probably you don't know is that in Spain happened pretty much the same, and not with one language, with 4 languages. And in Spain there are like different language, and during the dictatorship. Is that- okay, thank you. It happens more or less the same. That in the schools, many people cannot speak the language. If you speak the language, you will get punished. And in in the media and in Spain, there is not an issue now for that. Not for many people, but we keep that trend doesn't success. So now in every place they have their own language and Spanish as well. And I think that is great. And I know that there an issue and people is get sensitive about that, but I don't like it. For example, give you an example that maybe is not very good, but when I was young, in my house, my father used to say that, for example, Catalonia, that is like pretty much famous in Taiwan because...
Do you understand Catalonia?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, of course. Like everyone, if you speak Spanish, you will understand because are really close. And if not 100%, but more or less you can read almost everything.
So Spanish and Catalonia are like 80% the same?
Yeah, more or less, like 70-80% the same.
All right.
Anyway, I was a child. My father was telling me like that Catalonia was a dialect of Spanish. That is absolutely wrong.
Yeah.
It's not like that. And
I wonder if we've heard that before.
yeah, and was like my master is in linguistics, so of course I'm pretty aware about that, and I know the develop and origin of Catalonia.
Yeah.
And I think that is a mistake for me to relate that to political issues. And I know that people get really sensitive, but I think that Catalonian is a language, as any language is a treasure, and we should keep it.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't. For example, in Catalonia, there's a very interesting thing that most part of population is Spanish speakers. There's a small part of population that are Catalonian speakers, and many Catalonian speakers discriminate the Spanish speaker. I have a friend here who he is from Catalonia, and when I speak Catalan, that is Catalonian language, with him, he didn't reply, and he's super pissed off, and every time he's like, whoa.
So he's like, you're not one of us, so you cannot speak our language.
No. Is that because his mother tongue is Spanish, and he was born and raised in Catalonia, that is part of Spain by now, and he is discriminated since he was a child from the...
For not speaking Catalan.
For not speaking Catalan, and he was like super pissed off. Till the point that when I'm from Madrid, nothing related, I speak Catalan with him, because there's some sentence that I love to say in Catalan. I prefer to say in Catalan that, and I'm used to. So for me, it's more easy. So when I say that with him, he get super pissed off. Not super pissed off, but he was a little bit angry, and he replied in Spanish. It's like, well, it's like, he can speak.
Sounds the whole story sounds like deja vu, right? I mean, it's basically exactly.
deja vu.
Yeah, and what is like, whoa, and the guy really feel very bad about Catalan, and for me it's like, I understand, but it's a language, and it's better to get bored with two languages than with one. And I say for my experience.
The question I want to ask here is, can you understand? Well, so what I hear from your story is that Catalonian-speaking people, people, they sort of are angry or they hate Spanish-speaking people a little bit.
Hate, and what I was explaining is discriminate. If it's like use the language for discriminate people, is that you are not from Catalonia. If you are not.
But when you say here discrimination, you mean to be able to categorize people, right? Like literally discriminating.
No. Like in a bad meaning of the
bad
word.
meaning, okay.
Yeah. It's like you are low class because you are not the real Catalan.
Okay.
But were people who was born in Catalonia.
Right.
The people like use the language for discriminate or to make feel bad one part of the population that, by the way, is the biggest part.
Majority, yeah.
The majority that they are Spanish speakers. So from the friends that I have, a lot of friends living here by the way, that they are from Catalonia, but they have different backgrounds and they are Spanish speakers. For them, it's like, I'm from here, and why these people is like discriminating me because I don't speak the language. So I understand that. Even, and by the way, talking about the colonization and to be a colony, these things, I think that people can understand things even if they don't came to that process, or they are not coming from a country that are colonized, and especially when they are living abroad in a country that have this situation for many years. People can understand things that they are not coming through, I guess so. Talking about colonization, actually, I can say that for the whole world, we are colonized by Americans, but that are not Americans. I should say, but by the United States from America, and this that colonization is cultural colonization that I don't feel bad, but I'm going to share with you an experience. You know why my channel is, again, my channel in
Atoga
Tâi-gí.
Mkabi. Atoga Mkabi. Why I choose that name? Because there are a stereotype in Taiwan about the Atogas or are English teachers.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, I don't have any feeling about that. But after a while, was like, and at the beginning, I was like pretty okay, like talking in English with any Taiwanese. But during many years, like that people was automatically like associate this face to English teacher.
Yeah.
I start to feel bad about that. So I said, no, I'm sorry, not all the foreigners are English teachers. That doesn't mean that I hate English teachers, but I start to get pissed off about that. And when my, for example, Mandarin become much better than my English, and people who are Mandarin native speakers talk to English to me, I was like, what the fuck, this has no point. It's like, I speak your mother tongue better than English, much better, and for me it's not easy to express myself in English, and I have this Spanish strong accent, and you are forcing me to speak English. Why? There's no point. It's like it's crazy. Just for one reason, for my face, for my appearance, and it's like, why you? It's like, no, I don't like that.
I wonder if you I mean, do you have the same feeling about people assuming that you speak Mandarin because of your face?
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's okay. By the way, I use in Taiwan when I talk to someone, I speak in Mandarin, like most part of the time. But why today I make a 2 hours video all speaking in English, even if in my channel I absolutely reject to speak anything in English. Why I do that? Because I respect and I understand also that your point about don't speak in Mandarin, and I'm
so
fine.
you do understand. You do understand why I'm refusing to speak Mandarin.
Why do you think that I make? Of course. What do you think that I make a 2 hour video speaking in English?
Thanks for that.
You're welcome. But and that is the point of the video that we are talking about, the secret idea. It's like why I force myself, and in some way I betrayed my channel because here I'm in Hsinchu, I'm in your house. So I think that I should respect that, and I do that as a sign of respect. It's like, okay, you don't want to speak in Mandarin, I don't talk with you in Mandarin. Mm-hmm. By the way, I have this experience also in the gym. In the gym that I told you before, there once that I was talking with with an ama, and the ama doesn't speak Mandarin at all, and she's speaking Taigi, and I said, okay, of course, it's fine. Maybe I cannot reply, I cannot understand everything. And that was not a problem on that time. It's like I try to speak with her, and if I cannot, I speak in Mandarin. She replies all in Taiwanese. If I don't understand, I try to explain myself, and that's fine. But I think that we should get like more use about this interaction and don't get so sensitive. Because if I go to Japan and they don't speak any English, Spanish, Mandarin, only speak Japanese, I also will try to communicate with them. Even I will try to use some English even if they don't understand. And I will try to use my poor Japanese that I know a lot of bullshit in Japanese, but I cannot, it's not like, it's much worse than my Taiwanese, by the way.
I mean, it sounds kind of like what you're like. You take a very language approach to the whole thing, right? If I can say it like that. Like, these are different languages. Yes, they have different like cultural things attached to them, but they're just different languages. Anybody can use them. And
and by the way, after I think that is very interesting, that the feeling that I have when people talk with me in English in Taiwan by my face, that maybe the feeling that you have when people talk in Mandarin.
Okay.
I think that is very interesting, that comparison. But after a while, I also have some like very interesting experience. Me getting pissed off with someone who is speaking in English with me, because I was saying, hey, come on, why you speak me? You think that I'm from the States, right? And I'm getting pissed off, and suddenly the guy say, I'm sorry, but I'm from Vietnam and I don't speak any Mandarin. Plus, it's what is it? Plus, a slap in my face. I say, oh, I'm sorry. So, I think that make me also realize about, okay, take it easy.
Yes.
Sometimes also I don't like that people use English, and I understand you're feeling like perfectly like to show off. It's like, yeah, I can speak English, and I feel bad about that, of course. But sometimes I have now I'm much more tolerant about that. There's one that I was in the airport, and there's a guy who started to speak in English with me, and I said, I was like laughing, and suddenly the guy say, I know, you speak Chinese perfectly, I just hear you, but I want to practice with you. And I say, go ahead, no problem. And I feel like much more relaxed about that, because language is language. And I also feel okay if someone, after a while, I start to realize you talk in whatever you want to talk to me. If I don't understand, I will ask you. But I will also talk in whatever I feel comfortable to talk with you. That I'm not doing that today because I want to express that. That's the point of my today's video. But I understand that, and I understand, and that's, I think that the main point of this video, that I can understand that you don't like that, and of course there's an issue that not many people point off about colonization not by China, but the Kuomintang.
By China.
This China, not that China.
Okay, yeah. The other China.
Okay.
By that China, this China, here in Taiwan. And of course, there are many things that are little. I feel that from the time that I came here till now, there also is improving the society talking about that. And I think that is is something that we should to talk and to teach about that. And by the way, I think that probably you are not agree with me, but there's some issues here in Taiwan that I feel like in Spanish could be impossible. For example, every 28th of February, that the Kuomintang apologize for that issue. That in Spain will be absolutely impossible. It's like, or not in Spain, I think in many countries. Are there, maybe people are going to get mad with me, but
this is a very deep topic, right? Because you can say, okay, yeah, they apologize for it, but then you go around and every other road is called
no, of course.
I
I don't say that this is perfect, and I think that this is something that Taiwan, Formosa, as a society, because I'm also feel that I'm part of here, should improve and talk about that. But I think that if we want to improve, the first step is to include people. I have
this is actually a key point. The first step is to include people. I think everybody agrees with that. And I think the problem here, the root of the problem, is that Taiwanese, in the sense that we are using it, right? Taiwanese people feel like they're not allowed to be included because their name, their word, their language is just taken away and just becomes, oh, Formosa, no, that's just Taiwan. Forget, there is no Taiwan. There's just Formosa. So you talk about inclusiveness. I think that's where the problem really comes from. Is that Taiwanese people feel, in the way that I use the meaning of the word Taiwanese, they feel that they're not allowed to be included.
Okay.
But I want to pass it over to Ahua, though, because you've been quiet for a bit. And
I have at most 1 more hour to stay here, and then I have to pick up my mother from my uncle's.
Okay. Well, I think we can start to wrap it up now anyway. Because
please. We need to finish this in
we do need to
in 10 minutes.
All right. Okay. So you have the last.
Okay. The last thing, and probably the most important thing, I'm trying to point out here is the. From now on, I'm trying to explain to you guys what it really feels like to be colonized, what it really feels like to watch your culture die. Okay, so to start, can I ask you to imagine something that you were, maybe a restaurant, or maybe a playground, or maybe just a swing that you were very familiar, that was a very important part of your childhood life. But someday when you went back to your hometown, you found it, what? Where's that thing? Where's that swing? Where's the restaurant that I used to hang out every day? It was gone. And watching that thing gone, you feel like, oh, part of my childhood memory, part of me is gone forever with that restaurant, that swing, or that park, or that something. So do we share this common sense of watching some beloved part of you gone forever?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Now I want you to imagine this thing everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
By the way, I'm thinking, the example I'm thinking of, I had, this is when I was a little kid. I was probably like 7 or 8 or something. I had a little bicycle, and it was red. And I was a kid, I have a red bike. And we sold it to a friend down the street. And I remember they painted it green. And the first time I saw that my red bike was painted green, I was like, oh no. I was like in tears about this bike being painted green.
Okay. Now, Jesus, can you share one example of what I just said?
Well, I can share not only a childhood example, but I can share you a culture example. Spain, that used to be the biggest empire in the world. Today I received a message from my boss, and he showed me how people in Madrid are celebrate that the pandemic is over. People in full all the street or people drinking without mask.
Without a mask?
So we were saying like, what the hell is happened? Their people is stupid or what? It's like, because they are allowed to do that. So they do because they are allowed to do that. That is crazy. Like the pandemic is not over. Spain, come on, one of the countries with the biggest rate of deaths in the whole world, and they are celebrating in the streets because they are allowed to do that. So
Okay. Let me continue with my story here. Okay, what does feel like to watch your culture that can be like, okay, now if I'm standing in Taiong, also known as Taichung, my hometown, I grew up there. My ancestors from my father's side or mother's side has been there for like 300 years. I'm local there.
yeah,
But as I walked into a convenience shop and I spoke the language that has been with me, has been with my grandma and all the ancestors above, I speak to the young guy that keeping the store. Okay, I'm just going to get some cigarette or I'm just going to get some cold drink. And the guy couldn't understand. Or when some really young parents that are struggling to teach their kids to speak Taiwanese, so they're standing in their hometown, they're speaking their mother tongue Taiwanese with their kids. So they went to some kind of maybe swimming class, maybe some kind of music class. So when they just talked in Taiwanese, they hear another kid also coming for the music class asking his parents, are they speaking Cantonese? Are they foreign people? Are they foreigners? Well, when the other kid asked this, he was referring to the Taiwanese speaking family. So they're local here. And somehow they're being alienized. So when you mentioned something like you walk in the streets of Taipei or some corner around the world that you people assume that you should speak English just because of your face. Now I want you to imagine that happening in Spain. Imagine.
Oh, yeah,
Everywhere. It's like
That you would speak English. Not that
that
you would speak
everyone in your hometown assume that you should speak English. And your name became Jesus forever.
would be amazing. Yeah. Anyway, I get your point, but I think the way to change that, first, no matter how we feel, the culture changes. Sometimes we cannot change the way the culture changes. For example, in Spain now there are many people using, no, not in Spain, all around the world. In Taiwan also many people use English as a part of their daily life.
Yep.
And not all.
Okay, I think you know where you're going because languages change over time, culture change over time. So we should be more inclusive about those changes.
No. I think that sometimes we, no matter how we feel about that, no matter how bad we feel about that, their things are changing. First. Second, I think that if you want to preserve that, there are different ways. If you want to promote the culture, there are different ways. Like one is to get super serious, to blame the government, to stand for that, to feel bad, or even like to attack people. No, I'm kidding. Like even like to blame people that is using bad words in the language and give a bad name, for example, or blaming the guy in the coffee shop that is not speaking Taiwanese with me. We can do that in that way, and I understand that is a way that have a sense, because if you feel bad, it's a reaction. That is a reaction, but I think that is another way to do things, and I think that will be the only way that the culture, by the way, I think that Taiwanese culture, a part of the language, there are many things, and there are many things that are changing all the time. I think that another way to to promote that is the way that Korean does. Like 20 years ago, when I came to Taiwan, Korean was really low. Now nobody wants to learn Korean, and
everybody's learning Korean all around the world. Yeah.
I don't care about Korean. Korean is like second class thing. And why people now they are like super fan about Korea, not in Taiwan, in Spain as well, in all around the world, because they promote the language and the culture through the cultural items like the
K-pop and the dramas and all that. Yeah.
So I think that the way to promote this is not like fight against the oppressor, and I understand that feeling. And by the way, I am going to share with you a story about a movie talking exactly about that in Chile. In the Chilean, it's like when they become a democracy before the dictator, there's a campaign, and there's a movie called No, talking just about that people that they suffer, like their families were killed. That was much worse than the situation that you are saying. It's like people that their own families were disappeared by the dictators, and they want to make a campaign for like to vote if we should be a democracy or not. And people will say, yeah, you need to talk about the deaths and that. And the guy that was running and the director of the campaign was focused that in a positive way. And I think that, for example, talking about Taiwanese, one of the things that makes me wants to learn Taiwanese more, even if I have also some bad feelings about them, but is the group, how do you say 911 in Taiwanese?
9/11 attack?
9/11?
Or we just really like QE.
QE. There's a band, a music band in Taiwan. Their songs are in Taiwanese. Because of them, that by the way, they have a song laughing about foreigners, but because of some of their songs, I really want to learn Taiwanese, and I learn many Taiwanese from there.
Yeah.
And I think that to point that things about the oppression and this is something good, but I think that the real change is through the dramas, through things that people really love it. I give you like a super short version of that. If I tell you you should learn Indonesian, and I convince you, but you don't have Indonesian friends, you don't have Indonesian movies.
It's gonna be pretty tough to convince me if I don't have anything.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
So, but if I don't convince you about that, but you have a really Indonesian book that you really want to read, and you are not able, you will learn, even if I don't convince you. So for me, that is the way to promote the Taiwanese.
Yeah, I think, and I would guess that you probably agree to some extent with that you have to like make a positive thing about it. But on the other hand, I think Taiwanese is in a little bit of a different situation than maybe, let's say, Korean was in terms of them promoting it, right? Because the problem with Taiwanese is if you want to make that kind of media and do promotions and stuff for entertainment, for TV, music, any of these kind of cultural products, cultural items, you need people to speak the language. You need people who know how to speak it. Mm-hmm. And the problem today is like people don't even know how to speak it. There's not even enough skill out there to do that. Like people talk about, there's still plenty of Taiwanese TV. You can watch Bae Tiam Dong. The Taiwanese on Bae Tiam Dong, and no offense to the Bae Tiam Dong actors out there, but it's not that great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I want to quickly wrap myself. You want to be inclusive here. You want to include Mandarin-speaking people. You want to include Hakka people and indigenous people. Most of that is okay, but my stance here is, okay, a language is a language. We include everything, but not Mandarin. Mandarin is the enemy. Mandarin is the killer. Okay, like maybe for now you would say that Arabic colonization is already part of the Spanish culture, but that is when the colonizers are gone. The oppression system is gone. But here in Taiwan, what we still have today is we still have this government collecting tax money from everyone, including the 80% Taiwanese-speaking people, and we build schools speaking only Mandarin, forcing them to send their kids to school learning only Mandarin. So imagine that happening in Spanish, like if one day the United States decide to take Spain and they take all the Spanish money, build American schools, forcing your kids to learn only English. So
and only American history, only American culture, only American everything.
So 70 years later, all the Spanish kids born in Spain can read and write only English. So they look at all the all the books written in Spanish and what is this fuck thing?
And then they hear the kid in the elevator speaking Spanish, and they ask, "Is that Chinese?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some kid or some foreigner, some Taiwanese YouTuber is there in Spain and trying to teach people about, hey, I'll teach you how to say a Spanish hello here and use some very inappropriate words.
Wait.
Yeah, that's
Remind me. Oh.
Okay.
I was teaching that.
Hey?
I was teaching in my video.
Made a funny video is the point. Not exactly teaching. Just
Okay.
A funny video.
Just a funny video here. So.
Yeah. So anyway. Okay. Let's do that. I understand that. There's no problem. And of course, I just said that we should to make a debate in Taiwan and decide our own future that comes through that. Like the language and what are we doing with this country. I agree. But what someone who is, for example, Mandarin speaking, that if someone is Mandarin speaking, like for example, I consider myself, is maybe not my mother tongue, it's not perfect, but it's one part of, essential part of my life. And you say to that person that his language, that he feels his language as a part of himself, like my case, is killer, is the enemy. That guy will not want to talk with you, of course. If I
think this is a little bit different in your particular case, though, or for me as a foreigner, than it would be for somebody from a long line of Taiwanese speakers who now can no longer communicate with his own grandparents, right? Like it didn't have that learning Mandarin didn't have that effect on you, but it did prevent Taiwanese people from being able to talk to their grandparents.
It's true, but what I point is not that. What I point is, if you say, for example, to a person who is like Mandarin native speaker here in Taiwan, born and raised in Taiwan, if you say to that person, because your language, you are the enemy, you are a colonizer, and that's for me is the point.
No, but Ahua, as far as I understand, Ahua's not talking about that person. He's not saying that person is a killer. He's saying that language is a killer. That language is killing my language. It's a zero-sum game, right? If you're growing up speaking Mandarin and you're getting the Mandarin mind, you're losing the Taiwanese mind at the same time. You're not getting both.
Yeah. So what I would say here, so we have some debate on what is Taiwanese, what kind of people can be called Taiwanese, what kind of culture can be called Taiwanese people. We have some such debates, and here I'm gonna give a short answer on my own. I say if you want to be Taiwanese, you have to learn at least one local Taiwanese language, and those local Taiwanese languages exclude Mandarin. You cannot become Taiwanese if you speak only Mandarin. That is what I say here, and okay.
Do you have any opinion on the idea of whether or not it's makes sense to use the word Taiwanese in these two ways, right? Because in the one hand you say Taiwanese language, including Hakka, including Bangta. In the other you say Taiwanese language means only Taiwan way.
Taiwanese and Taiwanese languages mean different things to me.
That's what I'm saying. Do you have any like for me? What I would like to say, and maybe this is something we can start to do. I don't know. Actually, I should say start to do again, because this is how it used to be. Is that and this makes it much more clear, is that you say, okay, Hakka and Bangta and you know, Baiwan and whatever and Taigi, these are Formosan languages. These are native Formosan languages.
And so we just use Formosan instead of Taiwanese.
Well, it's much more clear, right? Because if you say Taiwanese, then which one do you mean?
Okay, good idea. Okay, so from my point of view, if you want to be one of the Formosans, you want to be called Formosan, you want to be become a Formosan guy, you cannot do that just by speaking Mandarin, because Mandarin is a foreign language here. It's killing all the local languages. It's killing what makes Taiwan Taiwan.
I'm not agree at all with that. It's like, first of all, languages are talking by people, and languages don't kill. Kill if we are like.
Okay, so, sorry, it's a metaphorical kill, I believe, in the sense that Mandarin is removing the other Formosan languages from existence, which is a fact. I mean, this is just true. Like, the Mandarin was not adopted by the population willingly. It was forced on them through prison sentences and fines and beatings and such.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
To remove their Formosan languages.
Okay. You know what I should speak? I should speak Latin. Because Latin was the original language of Spain. But actually, no, I'm sorry. I was wrong. Because before Latin, there are other languages in the Iberic Peninsula. I don't know how to say that in Spain. Iberian Peninsula. Anyway, in Spain, we can say Spain, we can check the name, but their languages, there are things that change. And that is a fact. So, and the Spanish that we talk today is not the same. And by the way, the Spanish that my father, my family speak is different from my one, or is different from what I speak.
But I want to ask you though. I want to know what you think about this, because you can talk. Yes, this is true that we understand that cultures change, language changes, cultures they incorporate other cultures and so on and so on. Right? Everything can happen. What I want to ask is, when you see this happen in real time, that this is in this generation happening.
I'm talking about real time in my case.
You talk about Latin. I mean, nobody's speaking Latin for 1,000 years.
I'm talking about my family and me. And I speak different Spanish, not absolutely different, but I include a lot of English words, a lot of Chinese words, and a lot of...
But you can speak with your grandma, come on.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, this is not, of course, in Taiwan, right? That's what we're talking about.
Wait, I didn't get the point
Okay.
first. So, this happened no matter we want or not. So, the point is that, okay, you don't like that. You want to preserve the language. Perfect. I agree. I like Taiwanese. So, you have two ways. One is force me and say words like enemy and kill. Another is convince me. And the way to convince is, I think that for seduce.
Yeah, you're saying there's positive and negative ways to promote it. You can promote it antagonistically. You can promote it in a positive way. Yeah.
And by the way, the Taiwanese speaking like 200 years ago and the Taiwanese speaking now is different, and is going to be different and changing all the time, because languages are living like part of what the culture. So my point is, like, if wants to preserve that part of the culture, I think it's great. I agree with that, but I think that should be like from like a seducing way.
Yeah.
By the way, I have another question. I have a friend.
the video is gonna just keep going forever, but go on.
Yeah, I have a friend who she's like super blue person. She said since she was a kid, she was grow up in a family. They came from the Kuomintang. By the way, we always say no, Kuomintang people. Kuomintang people, there's no one kind. There are at least two different, super different kinds of people in the Kuomintang. It's like the high class and the low class. Low class, not like they are like low class people. It's like the poor people who came with the Kuomintang.
Yeah, the Guan and the Beise.
And and she was from that family. And when she was a child, she was thinking that she wants to go back home. And suddenly, she realized that she never went to China and she doesn't know anything about her home and feel herself like super stupid. By the way, she speaks perfectly Taiwanese, and she feels like super stupid feeling that she was saying like, no, I'm super stupid, but suddenly she realized that she's from here. So how we should call her? She never went to China. She is here. She speaks Taiwanese. There's no problem. She and now she thinks that she is a Taiwanese person, and what we should call her? The enemy and the killer?
Okay,
I don't think so.
First of all, again, I think the key point is that we're talking about the language, not the people. Or at least I think that's what I was talking about. I don't think I was saying that everybody who speaks Mandarin is a murderer walking around town, but they're the language itself. So that's one thing. But the other thing is, I think it's not so much about like that we need to figure out what to call people. I don't think that's the point. At least this is what I'm saying. I don't care what you call yourself. You call yourself what you want. What I see as the problem is that people who for 400 years have called themselves Taiwanese are now no longer allowed to do that. That's what I see as the problem.
Allowed to call themselves Taiwanese?
Yeah, well, because for 400 years, you have Taiwanese people who say, I'm Taiwanese, I speak Taiwanese. I speak Taiwanese.
And now they're like, how can you be speaking Taiwanese? Hakka is Taiwanese. Indigenous is Taiwanese. Yeah. How can you be speaking Taiwanese? You are not Taiwanese.
Yeah. So it's like the indigenous, I would say Formosans, the Hakka people, their languages, their cultures are not being taken from them. In a sense, they're being more respected even. You have the Hakka Language Council that was set up quite a long time ago. You have the Indigenous Language Councils. There's all kinds of programs to help people understand these cultures and to help protect them. What does Taiwanese have? Taiwanese has nothing. If you look at in the Ministry of Education, for example, there's separate councils for Hakka, for Indigenous. Is there one for Taiwanese? No.
And I agree that.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So there's different perspectives to look at, right? It's not about you're allowed to be Taiwanese. You're not allowed to be Taiwanese. For me, it's not about that. What it's about is, are Taiwanese people allowed themselves to be Taiwanese?
I think that is different thing. To be allowed, that I think are allowed, of course, and what we should do with the politics through the language in Taiwan. For example, I think that should be taught the two language in the schools. Of course.
Yeah, except now the two languages are going to be Mandarin and English.
Oh no, wait. Or, no, I mean, you should in the school, for example, do like in France. In France, they have a education system that you have like French, English, and you can choose one language.
Sure, and a lot of countries have this kind of multilingual things. But look what's happening in Taiwan, right? We have to put all of this discussion in the context of what's actually happening on the ground.
Yeah.
You look at, for example, in chhau, right? Which is how we normally would say Kaohsiung. But if you look at chhau, I just heard this, that the first all Hakka kindergarten opened in chhau.
Yep.
Right?
They have Hakka
well, guess what? There are 0 all Taiwanese kindergartens in chhau. And there's not that many Hakka speakers there. Yeah. I'm sorry, that's wrong, right? Yeah. Where are the options for kids to send their kids to Taiwanese school? So that's what I'm saying when I said that Taiwanese people are not allowed to be Taiwanese, right? That's what Ahua means when he says they're murderers and killers.
Can you imagine one day you cannot find even one Spanish-speaking kindergarten in Spain? That is what now happening in Taiwan. And
why is happening that? Because obviously there are many people who still speak speak Taiwanese.
If we're talking about this 30 years ago, I'm sure we can find many teachers that can still speak Taiwanese, but no, not anymore.
Yeah, now it's tough.
It's tough. And so...
No, I mean, that still there are many families who speak Taiwanese. You cannot tell me that there's no one who is speaking
Yeah, there
Taiwanese
are
in
absolutely.
Taiwan.
There are. There absolutely are. So where are the Taiwanese kindergartens?
Yeah, I asked, should be Taiwanese kindergartens if everyone speak Taiwanese, for example?
Should. There should.
Yeah.
Why? The question you just asked is like, say, we're now speaking Spanish everywhere in Spain, so we do not need Spanish kindergartens here. We can have all the kindergartens in Spain speaking only English.
Yeah,
What you said was just like that.
Yeah, no. I was not saying that, but it's true. This is another debate, and is what I was saying today, and I am completely agree with you too. It's like we should preserve through politics Taiwanese language, of course, and not only about politics, because I think that the best way is not politics. It's about cool stuff.
Yeah, it's about cultural. It's about media. It's about all these different things. There's lots of different stuff.
Exactly, and I absolutely agree with that. So, if you say that the person who is agree with you is your enemy, I think
No, I'm
that
not saying you're my enemy here.
Not the person.
Yeah.
It's not the person.
no. I'm not talking about the Mandarin is a killer. This part, no. But I mean that, and not about me. Is if people, like for example, my friend is being considered like an enemy because she's Mandarin speaker, they will not feel right. I think that a best option is like to do these through things, like to debate that. That is why I'm here, and like through
Positive reinforcement, basically. Is what you're saying.
Okay.
So-
okay.
All right. Do you
think
want to wrap it up because you
I
got?
think
You gotta
I
go soon,
really
right?
have to go,
Yeah.
so I'm just
Yeah.
Why
going
don't
to
you
say
get the
one
final
more
word?
thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, if Spain is colonized by the U.S. someday in the future, and the kids know it's like only 5% of the Spanish kids can understand Spanish, and everyone else, the 95% kids, are speaking English and English only. And now there is some foreigner coming to Spain, like, oh, okay, I'm coming to Spain from Taiwan, but I learned only English here, and I'm saying that I can become Spanish just by learning how to speak Spanish English. How do you feel about that?
Sorry.
Okay. Spain is now colonized
Yeah,
by.
yeah.
by
The part I
you get 100% what I said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly the same situation reversed, basically.
Yeah, and then, okay, I'm going to explain my situation from your point of view. Okay, I will try. Spain is colonized by...
And you have to do it in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
'cause how else to go.
Spain is colonized by Americans. Everyone in Spain, even if many people still speak Spanish, but are less and less, and in the school only speak
English.
English. Okay. And then there...
And then Hôa comes over.
I
yeah.
come over to Spain.
Yeah.
I spoke your Spanish version of English, and I say I become Spanish just by speaking English.
Wait. I'm explaining. Finish. So, and then you go to Spain, you open a YouTube channel, become very popular. Later, there are more Taiwanese there and not so popular. That is my case. And then you invite your Spanish friend who speak very good English, a little bit of Spanish, and your Spanish friend make a joke about you saying, I'm going to teach you some bad words in Spanish, coño.
Coño.
Saseos is coño.
Coño. Okay, I'll learn that one.
Yeah.
Coño.
It's very easy, right? And then your friends are speaking all in English, and then say one word in Spanish. Here, hello, hey, we say coño. And make that joke to you because you are trying to be serious and she is like always mock up. And then I watch that video. And I will not feel bad about that. I'm sorry.
Okay. One thing I learned from this whole event is that do not speak to Spanish people coño. You know what coño means in Taiwanese? A young lady.
Oh,
young
yeah,
lady.
yeah,
Yeah, go on, you.
yeah,
Go new.
yeah. Go new. Yeah.
All right. I think unless anybody has anything else, I think we'll leave it there because Ahwa's got to run,
Yeah.
and we've had like 2 hours or something already of.
It's
of
crazy.
chat.
No, I don't know. I'm
think
not
we
going
can-
to cut this.
I think we can go on for another five hours. So yeah, we'll leave it
Yeah,
there.
maybe next time with some vodka.
Yeah.
Could be a good idea. All right. Well, thanks so much, you guys, for stopping by, and
Yeah.
we'll
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Yep.
See you.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my God! No, no.